Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to Laura and Mike, who you may know better as Bunny and Fox. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. We had seen many things in the month since we first reclaimed the Hamlet, but I'll admit, the fickle nature of our neighboring communities never ceased to astound me. One moment we were pariahs, a den of bandits and monsters just lying in wait for the unwary traveler, and the next we were a bastion of hope and commerce. The pendulum seemed to swing both ways on a regular basis, and this month in particular, it had swung decidedly in our favor. Once more, the Hamlet was set upon by a veritable swarm of eager young hopefuls, merchants offering their wares, tradesmen offering their services, and adventurers offering their lives. While I certainly admired their enthusiasm, I had no particular desire to ruin the lives of any more aspiring heroes, instead turning my attention towards matters of trade. Things had certainly improved as of late, but I was not so foolish as to imagine that this was a permanent change. The coin we had so painstakingly gathered over the past few expeditions was once again invested right back into the Hamlet's infrastructure, with particular attention paid to our ever-expanding armory. It was tricky business, playing host to so many visitors while also keeping the quarantine in place, but with Alistair's assistance, we somehow managed it. Still, the discontented grumblings of the infected were practically audible from the street, so I also put some of our hard-earned gold towards improving the living conditions at the sanitarium. Within a matter of days, that facility was a thing of luxury, or as luxurious as the cramped space and limited budget would allow. New furniture, an open-air courtyard, proper dining facilities, we had essentially created a massive gilded cage tucked away in the very heart of our community. It wasn't sustainable, of course, but in the short term, it at least seemed to quiet the loudest of the protests. Unfortunately, these recent renovations had brought to light another far more serious problem. Apparently, with the Crimson Court's expansion slowed to a standstill, so too was our steady flow of blood. A new disaster was looming on the horizon, and if something wasn't done to quickly amend the brewing crisis, then how long would it be before our erstwhile allies began seeking a new source of blood in the veins of their former comrades? Thankfully, the Commissar soon approached me with a potential solution to our mutual problem. Our recent expeditions had come across strange, throbbing cocoons, similar to the ones previously encountered in the Baron's mansion. He theorized that these might produce a marginally safer means of gathering the blood that we so desperately required. Given the circumstances, I quickly agreed to put his theory to the test, calling upon the Crusader Carl to lead our latest foray. I fired up his devout fervor with vague promises of holy trinkets hidden away in the old ruins, assigning Mikad the Unlucky and the King's Rook to help with the search. Of course, the Commissar would be in attendance too, to provide support of a more academic nature. I'll admit, I did feel the slightest pangs of guilt obscuring the truth from one of our most righteous recruits, but I quickly reassured myself that I was only doing what was absolutely necessary. The last thing we needed now was something that might spark another crusade.
There is power in symbols. Collect the scattered scraps of faith and give comfort to the masses.
And welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. Now, once again, it's been a while, and hopefully we can get things moving again. I'll admit, Darkest Dungeon's not the sort of game where you can really afford to let yourself get too rusty between each session. The mandatory Iron Man mode's not exactly forgiving. That's why we're currently easing our way back into things with another low-level adventure. Not only will that give me an opportunity to refresh my memory on how everything works, but it'll also give us an opportunity to build up some of our more neglected recruits. Speaking of whom, let's meet our heroes. Carl. the King's Rook. Mikad the Unlucky. Commissar Moody. Alright, let's take a look at the map. Nice. Judging from that first hallway, we might actually find these relics pretty quickly. Sorry, Rook. We'll have to hold off on the blood for now. We're running pretty low. Oh, nice. Evasion incense. I think we'll actually hold on to this one. I used to use that trinket all the time, until we, lost it with Henrik the Mad. We've got a curio room ahead, so we're probably in for a fight. I guess we should, really use one of our last vials of blood. Okay, we're off to an easy start here. Let's max out our torchlight and take these things apart.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all. Another one falls.
A brilliant confluence of skill and purpose.
Very nice.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Well, I've gotta say, that was a very encouraging start. Oh, of course, inventory management's going to be the real problem here, especially since we need 3 slots for those relics. Nice dodge. Bandits. Slightly tougher, but manageable. I think we can probably take out that cutthroat.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
So far, so good. Let's keep piling it on.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
We don't need healing, so
Monster's size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
And of course, we're already out of inventory space. I really don't want to leave those deeds behind, so let's see if we can dump something. I may end up regretting that, but what's done is done.
press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Annihilated.
Wow. Overlapping all those area attacks is really working out for us. Okay, let's start heading for that treasure room.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Once more onto the breach, my friends.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Wow. That could not have possibly worked out any better for us.
This expedition at least promises success. As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
It really kills me to leave all this loot behind, but I guess we don't really have much choice. I do wish there was a way to upgrade your inventory size, but I guess that would make things a little too easy. Let's ignore the chest for now. We'll come back a little later, once we've used up more supplies. You know what? We actually really need blood, so we can't afford to keep skipping these things. Alright, let's do this.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Actually, Carl might be able to finish this.
A powerful blow.
Wow, that,
Ghoulish horrors. Brought low and driven into the mud.
that actually worked out quite nicely. Really? Well, this'll be easy. I think Darkest Dungeon is trying to lull us into a false sense of security.
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
That is literally a full stack of gold. Alright, let's dump the antidotes. We're mostly going up against cultists and the undead, so hopefully we won't actually need them.
Wealth beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
Really, dude? It was just 50 gold. Alright, let's hook off to the east. We'll clear this area first, and then we'll set up camp. Our inventory's already maxed out, and we haven't found a single artifact yet, so let's hold off on looting any more containers for now. Hey, they actually got a hit on us. Good for them. Well, let's tear them apart.
Masterfully executed.
Nice. Alright, let's get rid of these casters.
Begone, fiend. A momentary abatement.
Nicely done.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Those guys actually put up a bit of a fight, but nothing we couldn't handle. Okay, 4 more rooms and then we'll set up camp.
A handsome reward for a task well performed.
Nice. Well, let's start with the northern hall. Shouldn't run into anything up there. You know, maybe we'll douse our torches once we find those missing relics. See if we can eke out a little extra loot on this run. These guys are going through food a little faster than I'd like. Hopefully we'll still have enough to set up camp. Alright, we've got another throbbing cocoon, so let's take our chances here. That actually doesn't look too bad. We should be able to handle this pretty quickly.
The blood quickens.
Well, normally that would complicate things, but not when you have area attacks.
A death by inches.
Not really set up to target the first row. There we go. Nicely done, guys.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
The light, the promise of safety.
Man, this just keeps getting easier. Of course, as usual, I'm sure there's something horrible right around the corner.
Back to the pit. Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
So much loot, so little space. Okay, let's keep moving. We're a little over halfway done. Jeez, really, guys? You've eaten 3 times in a single hallway. There we go. We finally found our first relic. Now we just need to go find the other 2. Alright, let's start collecting loot again. We're not coming back here.
A fortune, waiting to be spent.
At this point, I think we're on the home stretch, so we can definitely start dumping supplies. Oh, looks like we've got a random encounter ahead of us. And there goes even more of our food. I actually don't think we can afford to set up camp now. Alright, let's see what we're up against here. That's not too bad.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving. A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Alright, you know what? We don't have enough to camp anymore, so let's go ahead and dump the firewood. Yeah, I mean, we could still camp, but it would use up the rest of our food, and I just don't think that's a risk we can afford to take. Anyway, moving on. Oh, a seer stone. Interesting. I would actually like to take that. Man, we still need a couple of slots for those holy relics too, so we really can't afford to drop anything else. Okay, 3 halls, 2 rooms. We're in the home stretch.
Executed with impunity. Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end. Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles. Paid for in blood.
Okay, now, this has to be one of the relics. We might be in for a fight here. The Commissar's stress is getting pretty high. Well, no clear target, so let's de-stress the Commissar. Gotta love those jesters. Alright, let's finish this.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Okay, before we dump anything else, let's clear the rest of this hall. Oh, wow. We might actually find the last relic out there. Yeah, there it is. Alright, guess we'll have to dump something then. Actually, let's finish clearing the hallway. We'll get both of those relics on our way back. Ah, and one more throbbing cocoon. Well, we need the blood, so let's do it. Come on, Mikad. We've got a good thing going here. Don't ruin it now. Very nice. Very nice.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Oh, and, well, that's the last of our food, but at least it frees up a slot. Alright, I think what we're going to do here is, we'll just forget about that chest we passed earlier. We need space for the final relic, so that means the keys have to go.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
We do have that one last haul, though, so let's at least clear that before we leave. Okay, this shouldn't be a problem. That could have gone better. I guess we can dump the Onyx. The odds of finding more at this point are pretty slim.
Secrets and wonders can be found in the most tenebrous corners of this place.
Whoops.
Frustration and fury, more destructive than 100 cannons.
Alright guys, we're almost done here. Let's not kill each other just yet.
Well struck.
And we are done. Not much in the way of loot we can actually carry, but there might be something that's worth swapping out here. Well, we definitely want to hold on to those trinkets. I can get some use out of those. Alright, well, I'm starting to get tired here, so let's just grab those rubies and call it a night. Good work, heroes. Another job well done.
Tokens of hope, recovered from the encroaching dark.
All things considered, that's a pretty good haul. Granted, we could have walked away with more if we didn't have to grab those relics, but those will trigger a special event back in town. Really? Bloodthirsty and thin-blooded, huh? I think I'm sensing a bit of a theme there. At the very least, it fits the story I'm trying to tell. Anyway, as usual, we're well past the 30-minute mark, so I think this makes for a pretty good breaking point. I'll admit, things actually went a whole lot smoother than I was expecting. Not just with the fights, but I was completely certain we'd end up encountering the thing from the stars. I'm honestly not sure if I should feel relieved or disappointed. Regardless, we'll hit the pause button for now, and we'll pick up here next time, as we prepare ourselves for yet another visit to the Crimson Court. See you then.